podcast. And if you were listening to Good Things yesterday, you heard Rhino and I talking about pickleball being the fastest growing sport in our state, in our country, but neither of us know anything about it. So I decided to call a pro. So joining us today is Neil Witherow. He is the rackets director at the club at the township, and he's a tennis and pickleball teaching pro. And your friends, Neil, call you a professional pickleballer. So I don't know if that is true, but you at least know more about the sport than I do. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Rebecca.
All right, so when did you get first introduced to pickleball, or have you just sort of gotten into it with the explosion that has happened here recently?
Yeah, so I was always a tennis player and still am, and teach tennis. I've taught tennis for a long time. And about 5 years ago, I was introduced to pickleball and started teaching it when I was at the Country Club of Jackson, and just kind of got to see that pickleball and tennis they complement each other really well, and loved teaching it, and it was great that so many people were starting to enjoy it because it's so easy to pick up. Anyone really, any age can pick it up really easily, and so it's great. Yeah.
Okay, so explain it to us. So some of us who, I feel like I hear it, I've got a lot of friends who have really, been sucked into the world of pickleball, some that were past tennis players, some not, and they all say the same thing. But how does the game work? How is it different than tennis? But I can see why it's similar, but how is it sort of set up?
Yeah, so I would say it's about halfway between table tennis and regular tennis. So it's on a tennis court type surface with a net. It's just basically a smaller version of tennis, and some of the rules are different. Like you have to serve underhand, and then there's this area closer up to the net called the non-volley zone, or sometimes we call it the kitchen. And you can't step in the kitchen unless the ball bounces first in the kitchen. And so there's just a few different rules. But outside of that, it's pretty similar. The scoring is a little bit different, and you play it with a paddle and kind of basically a wiffle ball type thing.
Well, it feels like, Neil, that it exploded overnight, or maybe it just, I don't know, with their social media or just sort of people talking about it. As a teacher there in tennis, did you just sort of see it the same, or has it been gradual and we're just now hearing about it?
Yeah, so in Mississippi, it probably took a little bit longer to catch on, and there was some folks who kind of innovated it or implemented it in the Jackson area, and then I would say especially over the last couple of years, it's really grown a lot. Our community over here at the club at the township is fantastic and has really grown, and we've started a kind of a citywide league and have held some tournaments, and so yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. I mean, I think nationally as well, it's really kind of gained momentum, but here in Mississippi, it's grown a lot over the last couple of years, and it seems to be continuing.
Is it just here in the metro area, Neil, or are other communities in Mississippi also springing up their leagues? Because I think that's where it really grows, right, is when you have the ability to sort of test your skills up against all different levels, around the state. It also sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
So there's definitely other communities in Mississippi that are starting to grow more, and people seem to love to travel to go to pickleball events or tournaments, and so they go kind of out of town or out of state for it. So yeah.
I also have sort of seen where a lot of celebrities are buying into professional teams. I think like Drew Brees, and you've got some others that Tom Brady and even Bobby Bones have bought into this. Do you think, Neil, that this will grow into something even bigger over time in terms of nationally? Is it being like a legit league?
Yeah, so they refer to it to pickleball right now. The environment as being kind of the Wild West, as far as the celebrities and the billionaires who are buying pickleball teams and leagues and everything. And I think once it all kind of shakes out, it's going to be pretty big. Right now, I mean, as far as the professional game goes and prize money, it's still fairly far behind tennis, but who knows what it's going to do in the future.
Could you ever see pickleball being played at Wimbledon?
Wow. Well, first of all, you couldn't play it on grass courts, which is what Wimbledon is played on. So I guess another question would be, would it ever be played at the U.S. Open tennis? And I don't think so. I think it's got it's got its own kind of separate schedule and all that. But I love the way that pickleball and tennis kind of go together. I played both and kind of move back and forth between the two, and I feel like that they help each other as far as my own personal game.
Well, I think with a name like pickleball, it feels less intimidating than, I guess, the long history and tradition that comes with tennis, which is one reason why I feel like it's grown in such popularity so quickly, is people don't feel, intimidated by trying something new because it doesn't have kind of all of that, nostalgia or whatever around it. So if someone wants to get into pickleball, Neil, like what's the best way to do that? You've got the whole state of Mississippi listening here on Good Things. I know in the metro where to go, but like, how do you pick up a game or go out and try it? Can you do it by yourself, or does it have to be doubles?
Yeah, so you can play singles, and but by far most people play doubles, and so there's various facilities that offer open play, and people are always very welcoming to bring people in and do that. You can there are some facilities that offer lessons and clinics, and we offer all of the above at the club of the township over here, and it's I think pickleball is in a similar stage to where tennis was in the 1970s after the battle of the sexes between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King, and everyone just wanted to play tennis, and it just it went from being more of a country club sport to it being played in the public parks a lot more, and you could just show up back then, and just kind of wait your turn and play tennis, and pickleball is probably in a similar position right now, just as far as just how kind of open and welcoming it is.
How much equipment do you need to get started?
Not much. You just need a paddle and a couple of balls, and obviously athletic shoes and clothes. That's about all.
Do you have to be coordinated?
Yeah, I mean, you could. Some people put pickleball lines up in their driveway, and just put a net up there, and so it's fairly accessible, and because of that, I actually have a vision for reaching kids using pickleball, particularly underserved kids, but just kids in general as well, because it's just very easy to pick up.
Well, do you have to be coordinated?
No, I mean,
tell me the truth.
Not really. I mean, I could take just about anyone and kind of just show them the rules, hit a couple of balls with them, and within a few minutes be playing an actual game.
Well, it's definitely growing in popularity. I love that it's forming community all in our communities, and that you see young and wiser in years and different athletic abilities out there and having a lot of fun. I hope as the sport grows and kind of intensifies, it doesn't lose that, at least at the grassroots effort, because I think right now that's what makes it so special. And then sometimes we ruin it all by making it more than it, sort of should be. But if they are interested in what you're doing there at the township, Neil, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, so So they can just look up the club at the township over here. The Pro Shop phone number is 601-856-0220. And they can find us on social media as well, and or come by over here in Ridgeland.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Good luck on the court, and who knows, you may see Rhino and I out there one day.
All right, that'd be great. We'd love to have you here.
All right, you guys stick with us. We got more for you.